Get started. Welcome to the first day of the last quarter. I don't even know how we got here, but we got here, and we're gonna make the best of it, right? So here's a couple of numbers you want to write down. So far in the Texas region, for us, like the BKT side of it, we have 53 agents in Texas. Those 53 agents have closed 603 homes so far this year. 603 homes. That's 2.2 homes sold per day. That equates to $185 million in sales volume. So if you're tracking this, that's 10 million more than last week. Like, that's a lot of work happening. You guys also are not slowing down. Again, you have 57.5 million pending right now. That's a record. And I love that we're going to talk about listings this morning. Thank you, Valencia and Jordan, for volunteering this morning. You guys, as like, if we look at everybody in this group, you have 87 listings total, right? And what's really cool is, like, imagine Amazon not having anyone that sells anything, right? Like, they would cease to exist. And that's how realtors are. If we have nothing to sell, it's really tough to be a real estate agent. So I'm really loving this conversation that we're going to have this morning, because it's expired day. So I'm going to turn it over to Jordan. She's going to take the helm, and she's going to talk about what they do, and Valencia's going to script with us on how they approach expireds.
Yeah, thanks, Adelina. So Adelina brought to us expansion partners that she really wanted to touch on expireds and who's crushing it with setting appointments. For our team, we as agents lead generate, and we have an inside sales agent who takes inbound calls and also outbound prospects for expireds for sell by owners. And so when we talk about somebody who's a master at our craft, I thought, who better than somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing it? So we have Valencia on the call, our inside sales agent. Valencia has been with us for just under 4 years. I think in February will be 4 years, and 3 years in the inside sales agent role. So she is full-time, permanent, staying there, which is pretty uncommon for an inside sales agent. So she's just a unique breed, and newly married as of Friday. Valencia, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Good morning, Texas.
Good morning. So fantastic. What V and I are going to do is script expireds. And Valencia, before we head into scripts, would you spend a minute just talking about the mindset of an expired?
Yes, ma'am. So as Jordan said, one really big important thing to keep in mind with an expired is why they are an expired and how they got to that situation. So I like to equate them to the teenage love story gone terribly wrong. They didn't have the happily ever after as anticipated. Someone did something stupid, and now they have this terrible breakup, and they're emotional and their feelings are hurt. So keeping that in mind when going into an expired, it'll help you to ask the right questions. And if you listen carefully, an expired will tell you exactly how to win with them. And as humans, like they're humans like we are professional champions of complaining. So if we ask the right questions, we can hear everything that went wrong with their last situation to know how to fix it. That's why we like to pre-qual to the max when dealing with an expired, to ensure we don't miss anything, that we know exactly what went wrong and how we as the new agent can fix it for them. And one other thing I have learned is the difference between a house and a home. These words are used often interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. A house, there's no emotional attachment. Like, hey, Adelina, I've scheduled some houses for us to go see. Let's go see these houses. It doesn't mean anything. But if I say, hey, let's go home, or you hear the phrase, there's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. It changes them. So when speaking with an expired, be sure to use the word house to help them mentally disconnect to their situation, because they are emotional and they might want to hold on to what's familiar because they're playing, it didn't work. But helping them mentally detach as you move through the conversation will help you to set that appointment as you build rapport with them being so emotional. I hope that made sense. I kind of ran through it.
Absolutely. I totally agree. A lot of times they expire because they're emotional about the home or the house and their situation. And maybe they had offers, but weren't willing to come to terms with what their house was really worth. So starting with that detachment is helpful. So, okay, let's script this out. You're going to call me.
Yeah, of course. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, this is Valencia from the Davis team. I appreciate you for taking my call. I was just calling because I recently noticed your house came off the market and I was curious. Are you still wanting to sell?
Oh my gosh, you're like the 15th call today. Yeah, it came off the market. It didn't sell. Do you have a buyer or something?
Oh, I'm stoked that I'm lucky number 15. That's actually my favorite number. We do have a couple of different buyers. Tell me, if your home had a sold, where were you planning to go?
My grandkids are in Bedford, and I'd really like to get up there where it's not a half-hour drive to get to them so I can help my daughter.
Yeah, of course. And this may seem like super obvious, but what would being closer to your grandkids and helping your daughter, what would that mean to you?
So she's single and just trying to do everything. She works, she's really good at what she does, but she's got to take them to school. And if they get sick at school or something like that, she has to stop everything she's doing to do that. So we're really close with them, but I mean, it would just make it easier for her, for us to step in and help.
Yeah, of course. And family is super important. I agree with you. And I will need to ask you a couple more questions about the house to ensure that we can help you.
Do you have a buyer for it?
Yeah, we actually do have several buyers available that are already pre-approved. I just need a couple more things answered about the house to ensure that we're a perfect fit for you to get the home sold. Would you be interested in getting the property sold and getting closer to your daughter if we could sell it for you?
I mean, yeah, I'm interested, but what can you do that the agent didn't do last time?
Yeah, tell me a little bit more. What happened with your last agent?
He came over and sat with us and talked to us and told us that no doubt we would have no problem selling it for 410. And I mean, we got all the way down to 390, but we never heard from him again. Like, all he called for was to reduce the price. He never held the home open, and he never actually showed it to any buyers. He didn't show it to anyone that he had, but he said he had buyers.
Oh no, I'm so sorry you had that experience.
And we told him to take it off the market after 4 months, and
Uh-huh.
he made us hold through our contract at 6 months.
Oh man. And just curious, how did you find this agent you were working with?
My husband, it's a coworker. And that makes it even more awkward. It's a coworker, and he sells real estate at night.
Oh yeah, I can see how mixing, business with pleasure and a part-time agent can kind of put a damper on your plans, but don't worry, we're here to help. I do want to ask you, where did the price of 410 come from?
He came up with it. He said that we'd have no problem. We might even get multiple offers at that price. So we looked at other homes that had sold nearby, and I mean, he said he gave us a range, and we basically picked 410.
Oh, okay, no problem at all. And let's pause. We'll go into the house and I'll ask a lot of questions about what the house looks like, have her to describe it. But for time's sake, we're just going to skip right over that part. But just know in this moment, I'll get all the details about her house. And you mentioned, Jordan, that he didn't communicate with you guys at all. Can I tell you a little bit how our team works?
Sure.
Okay, well, we are a team of 13 agents. You will get a weekly market report from our team, which is an email. It'll also be followed up with a phone call to let you know what's going on in the market around your neighborhood, how things are selling, what the market is doing, and what adjustments we need to make to your house. There will also be an opportunity for 3 to 4 open houses a weekend for your property to ensure that we get it sold for you guys.
So
So
is that like the first weekend?
yes, ma'am, it does start the first weekend and it continues until we get the home under contract. Our team typically does get it under contract within the first 8 days.
Okay.
So we do things a little bit different. I know that was one of your major concerns of how we will actually get your home sold and communicate with you a little bit differently. And I would love to go into further detail to ensure that we will get your home sold to get you to Bedford to be able to help your daughter and your grandkids for their life to continue to run smoothly. With your busy schedule, when will we be able to meet to discuss how we can get the home sold for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that we're willing to go through it again.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
yes, ma'am, I completely understand. Do tell me, what's your hesitation?
It just is a lot, like making the home ready for showings, and then, you know, the agent doesn't show up, or they spend 10 minutes in the house, or something like that. I mean, it's just a lot of work to get it ready. And I don't know if emotionally we're ready to go through it again.
Yeah, of course. And this may seem like, you know, a bit of an obvious question, but what's more important for you, getting the home ready or getting closer to your grandkids and daughter?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, getting closer to them so that we can help is important.
Okay, of course. And if the 8 days of getting the home ready, would that be worth it just to sacrifice 8 more days so we can get the home under contract so you can get closer to your family in Bedford?
So you're telling me you can sell it in 8 days?
Our team is proven to get things done in the first week. And if you would give us a shot, we'd love to sit down with you and show you how we could possibly do the same thing for you and your family.
Okay. All right.
Would you be
That's fine.
open to meeting this Saturday, or would Sunday be better?
Saturday works.
Perfect. I have a 3 o'clock, or is 4 easier for you to commit to?
3 works.
Perfect. So when you meet with our lead listing agent, Jordan will actually go over your motivation again, your price point, and our strategies to get the home sold for you to be competitive on the market to beat that 8-day window. Do you have any concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious what they're going to do different than our other agent, how we're going to have a different experience.
Yeah, of course. And I'll be sure that our agent has it detailed out to actually show you, as well as tell you how our team runs differently to ensure your success in getting the home sold this time.
Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you Saturday.
Awesome. Does anybody else want to role play or take a stab or have any ahas or takeaways? One thing that Valencia learned in her coaching is, when can you commit? She used that line, when can you commit? Because it's not, you know, so many people think an appointment they could just cancel or miss or move, and really making it a commitment was a big change in script and helping us get from set to kept.
What I loved about when I was listening to Valencia was that, Valencia, you had these one-liners where you kind of went into, like, they really needed something from you. Like, what are you going to do differently, you know? And you had your, like, 1 to 2, 3 things. Like, I remember you said, you know, there's opportunity for you to have 3 to 4 open houses a week. Like, that was great, but you're not doing like a listing presentation on the phone. And it's so hard for our agents sometimes, and I've been there, where I just want to like just throw up everything I'm going to do. Or the other extreme, not say anything at all, and then the person hasn't built any trust with me. I thought you did a really good job balancing that.
Thank you.
I like how intentional you are with your words. A lot of time, everyone can learn the script, but you were very intentional with the words you picked. House versus home. What can you commit to? And you were. It's how fast this went by, but you could tell that you were really actively listening to that motivation, because you came back to it like 5 times. Yeah. And I think a lot of times we forget to do that because we get caught up in some other thing that they said that's not on the path that we're trying to take them. And we go down rabbit holes, but you came back to it. And then the final coming back to motivation, where you said, hey, well, this probably seems obvious. And I like that you're doing that too, because you're like presupposing that, right? Is that 8 days worth getting closer to your daughter? I think that was like the nail in the coffin, where Jordan was like, all right, well, you got me there. No more excuses, you know? So that was really good. Good intentional use of everything that you said. It was impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Bringing them back to motivation a number of times. Absolutely. Also, like what Valencia was saying, like, expireds are like a scorned ex-girlfriend. They'll tell you everything bad their boyfriend did. And if you want to put a ring on it, all you got to do is not do the things they did, or show the opposite, right? So I actually love them because they're very clear on what they don't want. And it's easier than showing a buyer a home that has no idea what they want or their price range or any idea. And you're like, I don't even know what to show you, versus so much clarity on what they don't want that you're like, I have the perfect house. You walk in, you buy one house, and you're gone, right? They're going to give you everything you need to do to be perfect and to win that listing.
You guys role play a situation where the other agent was a good agent, good pictures, did open houses, like did everything correctly, and it still expired?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you want to call me V?
Hey, ring ring.
Or do you want to talk about what we would talk about at the appointment? Are you looking for more of the appointment or setting the appointment, Gassos?
Setting the appointment. Like if we're talking to an expired, and if I just kind of like don't know what else to say, if they said, if I can see the pictures and I kind of even know the agent or know the brokerage and know how they work, and I'm like, well, I don't know what I would do differently besides price, obviously. So
one thing that we like to, when we get one of those that everything went perfect, ideally, Elizabeth, I'll ask them, well, if it was up to you, Elizabeth, what do you think prevented the home from selling? And then I'll wait for the lead to tell me, well, what do you think went wrong? Well, what feedback were you getting from your agent and from the showings? Well, if it were up to you, what price would you have put it at? Because like I said, humans, we love to complain and tell everybody what went wrong. So leave it up to that seller. Tell me what happened, what's going on. If they took the perfect pictures, if they priced it perfectly, if they did all of the things textbook, somebody's not telling the truth. So I'm gonna go to the source and ask, what do you think went wrong? You tell me what happened. And then they'll be able to tell you, well, they didn't hold open houses correctly, or maybe they didn't price it right, or they didn't put the best picture of the pool in, the evening light, the first photo. So it wasn't getting a lot of play. So there are little things that you can ask, but going to the source and asking them, hey dude, what happened? They'll tell you.
And I think saying if everything seems kosher and perfect and like it was done perfectly, then it's even more of a reason that I need to come out and see the home for myself and see why it didn't sell. Because I sell a lot of homes that other agents couldn't sell the first time, but I need to get eyes on it myself. So I love that question, Elizabeth. I think that's even more of a reason that you want to get me out to your home to see it and diagnose it. So you could even say like some people, some agents I would describe like a general practitioner, and then some are specialists, and I'm a specialist, and I want to get out and come see your home and figure out and get my hands on it. But, your general practitioner doesn't just send your x-rays to somebody else for them to diagnose you. They actually send you. And I would want to come and see you, or in this essence, see your home to find out why it didn't sell and talk about what we could do different.
Thank you.
Anybody else have thoughts or ahas or anything like that? Otherwise, I'll kick it back to Adelina.
I just have one. You can tell when someone is on these calls a lot, because all of these expireds and all of our prospects have these ingrained brush offs that we just hear, and you can hear on any given call, right? And when you make a lot of these calls, you start to pick up on those, and you have an immediate response for those, right? Like it's just knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, we do have a buyer. We have a lot of buyers, and so let's talk more about your motivation for wanting to sell, right? And you can hear that, Valencia, you've made a lot of these calls and been successful getting through those brush offs. I hope everyone was taking note of that, because I think that 2-degree change could make a big difference for a lot of our prospectors.
Yeah, I agree. Great comment, Casey. Adelina?
First of all, I want to thank Valencia. Valencia, it is nerve-wracking. If you've never spoken in front of people, you guys, this is nerve-wracking, right? Like it's one thing to call expires that don't know you. It's another thing to talk to people you kind of know and you see every week. Valencia, you're amazing. Thank you for sharing your talent with us. Jordan, you are an amazing seller. You are not easy. That's why I was like, I can't do this because I have something in me. I'm too easy. And I was like, this is perfect. Valencia, Jordan can do it. Because you're a hard ass and I like it. So it was absolutely perfect. I'm excited. I know every team tracks their numbers, and expireds for us year over year, and I would imagine for every team in Texas year over year, is a big source of listing business. So if you're not calling anybody, right, like you are giving up a really big chunk of business. And it probably, I was on a webinar last night, and I'm going to try to see if this girl will do a webinar with us as well. Like anybody you're not talking to, right, whether it's your sphere, whether it's expireds, guys, it's costing you 6 figures a year. and you're in sales, and we get to sell these wonderful, beautiful homes and make people happy. But at the end of the day, we're in sales, and if we don't put ourselves out there, like, the expireds aren't going to knock on our door. And Valencia, you are such a great representation of how you can be compassionate when making these prospecting calls. Sometimes, like, I've had the bias of, well, prospecting is just like cold. And Valencia, you're anything but cold. So thank you for showing us the way to do that really professionally and compassionately. I appreciate that. Jordan, do you have anything else, or are we good?
Nope. Thanks so much, guys. I hope
All
it was
right.
helpful.
Absolutely. Well, it's Expire Day. It's the first day of the month. Let's go. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.